Peace. What's the word, everybody? Give everybody a chance to tap in with the kid before we start building on the subject matter for the day. It's gonna be a quick motivational build today, man. I ain't really got too much to say. I just want to inspire the people, man. So give y'all a chance to tap in with the kid before we start building. Hopefully, y'all having a powerful Tuesday. Hopefully, y'all had a powerful Monday and a great weekend, man. So how y'all living? How y'all feeling? Talk to me before I start talking to y'all, man. Again, just want to motivate, inspire, and encourage the people today, man. That's literally all I'm on. That's the sermon for the day. I ain't about to go too crazy on this stream, man. It's just all motivational energy, positive energy, powerful energy. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want to spread because, again, that's contagious. So we want to spread that good energy, man. At least that's what I'm striving to do. At least that's what we striving to do. So how y'all living, man? How y'all feeling on this wonderful Tuesday? Hopefully y'all got about 45 minutes, possibly an hour to spare, man. Listen to the build, get some of the motivation, get some of the jewels, man, because that's how we feeling today, and that's what we gonna spread, man. So let me know how y'all living and feeling, man, before I start diving into this subject matter, man. Y'all know what it is. It's real simple. Talking about the myth of overnight success in this microwave generation that we exist in today. D main piece, what's happening? What's the word? Yeah, the microwave generation, man. Want everything quick, fast. Big myth. You know what I'm saying? That's not something we should strive for. It's never really the healthy way to go out and get it, man. Slow and steady wins the race. But we want things quick, fast in today's time, man. We got to get away from that type of mentality. We got to get away from that mentality. And that mentality is leading to a lot of us becoming victims of scammers or scamming. Just that microwave generation. It's a lot of people falling victim to scams because they want things with the quick fast. If something sounds too good to be true, more than likely it is. Evan, peace. What's the word? Magic Realms, peace. What's happening? Evan, peace, peace. Everything is good, man. Everything is good on this end, man. You know what I'm saying? Just flowing with life, man. You had your up days, you had your down days, man. We just deal with them. Wise King, peace. Peace, G. What's happening? What's the word? But yeah, the microwave mentality, man, it is killing us. Want everything quick, fast. You know what I'm saying? So we falling for scams. We, as you all know or hear me talk about all the time, surgeries, like all of these things are a result of the microwave generation. It's easier to avoid getting scammed when you don't have that microwave mentality. When you're not striving to get things quick, fast, and you understand that slow and steady wins the race, it's hard for you to get scammed because you're going to thoroughly examine somebody when they presenting something to you. If you have the microwave mentality, if it sounds good, you like, I want some of that. I want in on it. I want in on it. Antoinette, peace, queen, what's happening? Uncut with Daryl Long, peace, what's happening? But I have seen people on social media sites such as Facebook fall for some obvious scams. Like it's obvious that the person's page was hacked, and I would still see people commenting under the post, putting a cash app and things like that. It's like this is obvious. This is an obvious scam. But since we live in the microwave generation, oh, that sounds good. They leave your cash out for $500, and now they leaving their cash out. Like, what you come on, man? We got to be able to decipher that rather quickly. Rather quickly, man. It's crazy the amount of people that I would see leave information on a post like that when it's obvious that the person's page was hacked. And they really inquiring about this information. It's like, come on, man. Like, seriously, we got to stop being so naive and gullible with this microwave mentality, man. It is destroying us. It is destroying us big time. Like I said, it's leading to more people being victims of scams. And then you're signing up for things like surgeries, like for real, especially when it comes to your health, man. If you're in a situation where you need to lose weight, losing that weight quick, fast, not necessarily healthy. Slow and steady, man. Stay committed to that grind, stay committed to that vision. That's the best way to go about it. That overnight success, man, that microwave, like that mentality is nonsense, it's BS, man. It's detrimental to your health. Get you a vision, figure out the formula that you must adapt or adopt Figure out the formula that you must adopt to reach that vision, and stay committed to that grind. Stay committed to that formula. That's the recipe. But again, we dealing with a lot of people that lack vision. Lack vision. A lot of people do not have vision. A lot of people are just straight blind. They don't have a vision. They don't have a direction that they want their lives to go into. They don't have it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they fall for anything. That's why it's so easy to lead them in the wrong direction, because they don't know where they're going in the first place. They just joyriding. You ain't got no destination. You don't know where you're going. I'm just joyriding. So it's easy to get that person to travel in the wrong direction. Easy. Opposed to a person that know exactly where they're going. They know exactly the route that they want to take to get there. Like, that's the person that you're not about to get that person. You're not about to lead that person in the wrong direction. So we all need to be that person, the person that know exactly where it is that they are going, and they know exactly how to get there. That's who you want to be. Don't be the person that's out here joyriding, man. You gotta know exactly where it is that you will end up. Again, like, that's how we do it, man. We know where we gonna end up. We don't know where we want to go. We know where we will end up. Writing the history in advance. Tierra, peace. What's happening? Queen TZ, peace. What's the word? Magic Realm, slow and steady wins the race. That's what they say. You know what I'm saying? And that's right and exact. Uncut, stand for nothing, fall for anything. 100%. You know, so a lot of times, man, I know it can get discouraging. I just finished reading DMX's autobiography. Very powerful read, man. That's a very powerful book, man. You will gain a better understanding of DMX once you read that joint, man. But his autobiography is powerful. And one thing that I took away from that was the fact that that man stayed committed. If you don't know the story of DMX, like in the beginning of his career, man, he was constantly getting rejected. Basically, they was saying like his image, man, he's just too grimy. He not marketable. He went through years of this. I'm talking about over 10, like close to almost 10 years of this, man. So he had been rapping for a minute. And then, like, he'd been rapping for a minute, and he was winning battles. He was doing all, like, he was well known in the streets, but he couldn't get that deal. He wasn't getting the money. He wasn't getting compensated financially for his talent, for his skill and ability. And he was getting rejected left and right. But he never gave up. He stayed committed. Letting you know right now, letting you know when you read that lets you know that overnight success, that's a myth. One of the greatest to ever do it. DMX, like one of the greatest talents to ever do this thing. DMX, like, he didn't have overnight success, even though he was out here. Like, if somebody would have heard him back there, like, he had to tell you, couldn't even deny his talent. But it took him a minute, it took him years of staying committed to the vision, staying committed to the grind for him to eventually reach where he was striving to go. So he had to stay committed, man. He had to stay committed. If he would have just given up after the first rejection, we would never have had a DMX. You know what I'm saying? So that autobiography, that's something that I took away from it. It's like, man, he stayed committed. Plenty of times where he could have been like, man, this is stupid. And there were close calls. There were close calls. You know what I'm saying? If you're familiar with the story, DMX did have close calls to where it was like, man, we almost didn't get DMX. We almost didn't get to witness the greatness of DMX. Had some close calls because he didn't reach the level that he felt like he should have been at, and he went back to doing things that he was placing himself in bad situations. You know what I'm saying? But he stayed committed to that vision, stayed committed to that grind. He knew that being an MC, being a rapper, whatever you want to refer to him as, like, that's all that he's like, that's what he felt like all that he was good at. So he stayed committed to that. Stayed on his grind, stayed on his purpose, and look what happened. Look what happened. And it didn't happen overnight. And that's for most people. Doesn't happen overnight. Doesn't happen overnight. Chucky, you say you tired of hearing about the virus every day. Oh, man, I don't even talk about it anymore, man. I got a lot I can say about it, but I don't even talk about it anymore. I'm focused on a lot of other stuff, man. I ain't even focused on that virus anymore. Chantel Peace Queen, what's happening? Montel Peace, what's the word? Oh, Uncut, I already know about that documentary. Anything pertaining to DMX, you already know I done tapped into. Wise King, you say generational wealth doesn't happen overnight, but those who keep moving forward will likely reach their goals. On top of that, we need to take advantage of life insurance policy for sure, 100%. Yeah, I done talked about life insurance policies a few times. You know what I'm saying? And that just comes from me paying attention, listening to what other people are doing that are in positions to where I would like to be at. So I'm like, all right, you doing this? Let me try to implement that. And then I go out and do it and I see how it works for me. But a lot of times, like I said, we like to be stubborn, man. We like to think we know everything. Like, nah, man, if somebody giving you the game and they didn't already did this, listen to that person. Listen to that person and implement some of what they saying. Won't kill you. Rashid, peace, what's happening? But yeah, man, I took that message away from DMX, man. The way that he just stayed committed to his grind in the face of rejection, man. He got rejected a lot of times, man. And especially when you know you talented. You know what I'm saying? When you know you good at something and you still getting rejected and people still telling you that, hey, you're not marketable, or hey, we gonna choose somebody else. Like when you know you can do something and you still getting rejected, that can get discouraging. That can lead to depression. So if you are in that boat right now to where it's like something that you want to do, and I mean, it seemed like every door is getting slammed in your face. I'm here to tell you, man, stay committed. Stay committed to that vision. Stay committed to that grind. It is going to eventually pay off for you. It's eventually going to pay off for you, man. Stay committed. I don't care how many times you get rejected. If this is something that you are great at and you master in that craft and you passionate about it, stay committed, because eventually you will manifest whatever it is that you're striving to manifest in reference to that craft. Stay committed. Do not give up. If this is something that you was destined to do, stay committed to it. Stay committed to that purpose. Do not allow a few rejections to knock you off your square. And that's what tends to happen. We get rejected a few times and we start questioning ourselves. But maybe I'm not that good at X, Y, and Z. Or maybe I'm not qualified. Nah, you got to look at it. Whoever it is that's rejecting you, you got to look at it like that's their loss. That's their loss. Especially if we're talking about corporate America, because we already know the politics behind that. So if you getting rejected in corporate America for something that you know good and well that you can do in your sleep, don't get discouraged, because we already know what's going on behind that. We already know the politics behind that type of rejection. So stay on your square, man. It's going to eventually pan out. Master that craft. Stay committed to the vision and the grind, and I guarantee you everything will work out for you. It's inevitable. But the moment you start getting discouraged and you start speaking that doubt, that's when things start going left, as they say. Oh, Montel, for sure, man. Yeah, like I said, that DMX autobiography, very interesting read. But man, my man's just definitely stayed committed, man. And that was my main takeaway from that autobiography, man. Just staying committed. Like, I done been one of those individuals, man, that just get rejected, like in the corporate world, man, for things I know I'm qualified for and things I know I can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, hold up. Especially, I don't know if I'm the only one that may possess this type of mentality or have possessed this type of mentality. And that's why when I read the philosophy, like, don't compare your life to others. Like, when I read that, I needed that. You know what I'm saying? Because I had reached a point in my life where it was like, man, I know, as far as like my level of intellect, I felt that I was intelligent, or more intelligent than where I was currently at, my current position in life. Like, I was like, dude, I'm smarter than this. You know what I'm saying? So and basically what I was doing was I was comparing my life at that time to people around me. I was like, man, how are some of these other people in these positions? And I feel like I'm smarter than them all. And when I started doing that, man, like, for one, that's attachment, and you comparing your life to others, like, that's the recipe, the formula for like depression and suffering, anxiety, all of that. I don't watch people in my family do that, and it bring them down. But that's what I was doing at the moment. So that philosophy came right on time. I felt like, man, I'm way too intelligent, way too smart to be where I'm at right now in comparison to some other people. Matter of fact, I'd be in jobs and I would have managers, and I feel like I'm better at the job than they are. I'm like, man, why is this my manager? And I feel like I'm better at this job than them. So that was bothering me for a minute. Like, that was like grinding my gears. And then I came across that philosophy, which you already knew it. But when I read it at that time, it resonated, and I needed that. And then I just started really understanding the corporate world. You know what I'm saying? Because it really don't matter. Like, matter of fact, the more intelligent you are, as a black man or woman in corporate America, the more likely they are to hold you back. They are intimidated by the intelligence. So I wasn't able to see that at the time. I was like, man, I feel like I'm more intelligent than all these people that's giving me these orders. That was the problem. I felt that I was intelligent and I was confident in that intelligence and in myself. And that was a threat to them. That was a threat. I wasn't understanding it at the time, though. I'm naive and gullible. I'm like, well, if I'm intelligent, if I'm smart, then that should get me in the door. Nah, when you intelligent and you smart as a black man or woman, that is a threat to corporate America. They like, man, we can't bring him in at certain positions. He may take our spot. So I wasn't understanding it at the time, but then it finally hit. I was like, oh, okay. Me being confident in my ability, me being confident in my intelligence, that's the problem. Just Peace Queen, what's happening? Infinite Charms, Peace Queen, what's the word? She definitely, tenacity will definitely go a very long way. Yes, Shantae, yeah, for sure. And that's another thing too. Even when it comes to affirmations and just adopting a more positive mindset, again, this type of stuff don't work just overnight. Now you can have situations where you may do an affirmation and that same day something positive happens. But like this type of stuff takes a minute to make it like a lifestyle to where you just receiving nothing but abundance. Like that takes time. You got to be committed to that. Again, you got to make it a lifestyle. So this type of stuff takes time, man. When you really trying to be about that life, it takes time. You got to be patient. And again, when people hear the word patience and somebody tell them to be patient, they think that means to sit around and wait. Literally, that is the total opposite of what that means. Patience is knowing that I'm doing what's necessary to get me to my destination, but I know and understand that along the way, I'm going to hit some bumps in the road. It's going to be some bumps in the road. But as long as I'm traveling in the right direction, I'm going to hit that destination. I'm going to reach that destination. But it's going to be some bumps along the road. I might have to take a couple detours, but I'm still going to reach that destination. That's what patience is. You got the vision. You doing what's required, but understand that it's going to be some obstacles, some trials and tribulations. And you got to embrace those obstacles and those trials and tribulations. That's what patience is all about. That's what patience is all about. Knowing and understanding that everything will happen when it's time. Everything will happen when it's time for it to happen. That's what patience is all about, man. We doing what we need to do to reach that destination. We gonna reach it when it's time for us to reach it. Hey, Patrice, there we go. For the cleaning business, let's get it. Pass them flyers out. Market yourself. Let's go. Get that clientele up. Lorenzo, peace. What's happening? Doreen, peace. What's happening? Just you say they cool as long as you play slow, for sure. And Tierra, yeah, patience is definitely key. Like I said, it ain't about sitting around and waiting. That's not patience. That's just laziness. You know what I'm saying? That's not patience at all. That's just laziness. That's what sitting around and waiting is. That's just lazy. That's just laziness. But yeah, we got to understand that, man. When it comes to getting the things that we feel like we need and want out of life, man, that takes time. Takes time. We want to wake up overnight with all of these things. Like, that's not how that works. Only thing you can wake up overnight with is a different mentality, different perception, different perspective on life. That's it. And start there. You know what I'm saying? Start with waking up one day and changing the perception or perspective, your outlook on life. That's where you start. And you got to stay committed to that. Stay committed to every day. My perspective, my perception, my outlook on life is going to be better than it was the previous day. That's what you focus on. Because at the end of the day, you know what it is. You know the destination. You know where you're going to end up. So that's patience, man. Perspective, perception, outlook. Make sure that joint is powerful. Make sure that joint is positive. Make sure that joint is healthy. How you view yourself, how you view life around you. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be healthy, man. It's got to be healthy. It's got to be healthy. All the doubt, all of that fear, all that worrisome energy Can't have that. Can't entertain it. Can't entertain it. Very detrimental. That's why I don't like to surround myself with people that have that type of energy. I don't want to, like, you can consume that if you're that type of person. You can consume the energy of others. You coming around with this doubt, like, that's affected me. That's affecting me. So I don't want to entertain those type of individuals. Hey, you dealing with the fear, you dealing with the doubt, you worrying about everything. I'm good on that. You know what I'm saying? When you get a grip on that, then you can come back around me. But as long as you entertaining that energy, man, get away from me. Get away from me. That sounds harsh, but it is what it is. Like, we gotta protect our energy field, man. We gotta protect that, because nobody else is looking out for that joint. So you gotta protect that energy field, man. Because again, this is a law of business. They tell you people don't necessarily care about you; they care about what you can do for them, and that's it. That's it. So you gotta look out for yourself, because it's nobody else's job. It's nobody else's occupation to look out for you, to look out for your health, to look out for your energy. It's nobody else's occupation. That's nobody else's job. It's your job, and your job only. So you got to protect your energy. You got to protect your peace and your sanity. So when it comes to staying committed to a vision, committed to a grind, you got to watch who you really associate yourself with. Because at that point, we dealing with the wilderness of North America. Most people in this country, they lack discipline. So when they see you trying to attain the discipline, they're going to try to knock you off that square instantly. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Don't worry about it. I don't owe you no explanation. Like, if I'm striving to reach this new goal in my life and it appears to be different from how I used to be, just accept it. Once somebody starts interrogating me, you know what I'm saying, then that's when I tend to flee the scene. Like, I don't need you interrogating me, because who are you? Who are you? You know what I'm saying? Just, like, pay attention to the people that be interrogating you, asking you all these questions when you decide to make healthier changes in your life. Like, who are these people? Like, really ask yourself that question, then answer that question. Who are these people? Why do they feel qualified enough to feel like, oh man, you owe me an explanation in regards to why you want to be healthier, in regards to why you want to go into business for yourself, in regards to why you want to cut X, Y, and Z off? Like, man, I don't owe you no explanation behind that. I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? When I decide to wake up and I say I'm going to be committed to this grind, I'm not going back to corporate America, and that's my reality. I don't care about your questions. I don't care about your question. Well, why you no, I don't need to answer any of those questions. When I decide to change the way that I'm eating and you be like, hit me with the why, like, I don't really owe you an explanation. I don't need to break it down to you. You can do the knowledge yourself and reach a conclusion just like I did. So I ain't really all the judgmental people. Like I said, man, that's for the birds. Like, I allow people to live, man. I'm not out here judging folks, because I quite frankly don't care what people do. I don't care what people do unless it affects my life personally. I don't care what you do. But the moment you start trying to critique my life, then that's when I'm going to critique yours. That's when I'm going to care about what you do, because I'm not about to let you come at me sideways, you know, because you're trying to knock me off my square, man. Again, I'm on a journey. You know what I'm saying? What they say is a marathon, not a sprint. Shout out to Nip. But we on that journey. I'm not about to let you detour that journey. Like, nah, man, I'm locked in. Tunnel vision. Tierra, for sure. Love to tell you that. They love to tell you. You know what I'm saying? And I've been a victim of it, especially when you're younger. See, this is the problem. This is what's happening. They getting us while we young, man. Like, this is essentially some things that happened to me. When you're young, like, when you got the worst thing a child can have in his life or her life is like brainwashed adults giving them advice. Because, like I said, for the most part, children are naturally curious. Children are naturally revolutionary, man. We got that energy. It be the adults that tame that energy. It be the adults that lead them in the wrong direction. Man, we would have been had the revolution if we just let children just naturally do what it is that they want to do. But it be the adults, for the most part, this brainwash energy, passing it on to the children. These children be coming up. I'm talking about, man, you've been a child before. You've been that age. You got all these ideas like, man, I want to do X, Y, and Z. And it's like the adults around you like, well, you need to focus on something more realistic. See, they be thinking small. And how many children has this impacted? When you done had all of these dreams, ambitions, goals, whatever, and then the adult came out of nowhere that you respect, and they told you, hey, you need to be more realistic. They don't make enough money. How many people has that impacted? I know that has impacted a lot of people, where people told you to be more realistic. And now you pursuing something that you're not passionate about, and you just walking around depressed because you're doing something that you don't really care about. Man, we got this one life to live. For all I know, I don't care anything about any afterlife theory. I don't care anything about reincarnation. For all I know, this is it. And I'm treating my life as such, like this is it. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to waste my years doing a bunch of things that I don't care about. That is depressing. I told you, I read it in a book where they interviewed people, older people that was on their deathbed. So I'm talking about people that can live 80, 90 years. And they was preparing to die. They interviewed these people. And these people, the consensus was, the number one thing that they regret was not doing what they wanted to do in life and instead listening to everybody else around them. So that was the number one regret of these elders that were on their deathbed. That was the number one regret. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to be 90 years old on my deathbed talking about I regret doing all the things that I wanted to do for myself. And instead I was listening to everybody else. That ain't the way to go out. That is depressing. That is sad. I ain't going out like that. I'm going to do what it is that I know I need to do because I'm the best knower of self. I'm the best knower of self, man. I know what's best for me. So again, while some people can mean no harm, at the end of the day, the individual knows what's best for them. But a lot of times, man, these adults, man, they be killing that energy in that child. They be killing that ambitious energy. Kill it, destroy it. I mean, instantly. Man, I'm telling you, man, children be naturally creative. For one, not only is it the adults, but it's also the school system that kills that creativity. Which again, those are adults that's teaching in the school system. You know what I'm saying? But the school system creates the not creates, but kills the creativity, and then they go deal with the adults, and that's just that drives it home. Drives it home. Drives it home. So it's like then by that time when we get to adulthood, we'd have been brainwashed and we think we can only do certain things to earn a living for our family. We now know, obviously, that a lot of that stuff is some nonsense and some BS. Back in the day, we didn't have the internet like that to show and prove, like, hey, man, people making big money doing what it is that I just said. You weren't able to show and prove. Now, children have more evidence. They say, man, I want to be a social media influencer. Well, they can pull up people say, hey, such and such is doing it, and look what they doing. All I got to do is have vision, have a plan, have a strategy. Back in the day, like, we didn't really have much evidence. We'd say we wanted to be something or do something. People would tell us to be more realistic. If you didn't know examples off the top of your head, you was kind of out of luck. They got you. Mr. West, peace. Brandon, what's happening? What's the word? Alvarez, my brother, peace. What's happening? What you say, Brandon? I literally just spoke on this with my mother yesterday. She's the only person that inspires me and believes in me. She tells me keep striving whether she's here or not. And Dolphin inspired me as well, for sure. You know what I'm saying? And it's good to have that support system. And I don't care if that support system is one deep. I don't care if that support system is one deep. You better hang on and embrace that one person that's supporting you. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't got that one person, then you got to be your own support system. When they say be the change that you want to see, well, sometimes you got to be the support that you want from others. You got to be that to yourself. So if you don't have that person, if you don't have that support system, well, you got to be that support system for yourself. It's hard, but it's doable. You know what I'm saying? But if you got somebody that's supportive, embrace it. Embrace them. Tierra, yeah, people always dishing out the criticism, but they can't take it when you criticize them. That's what I can't stand. Yeah, Brandon, for sure. And again, you know what I'm saying? If you lack a purpose, Create one. You know what I'm saying? Don't hate on the person that then created a purpose or found their purpose. Create your purpose. Everybody can create a purpose. Everybody got things that they interested in. Everybody got things that they good at. Create your purpose. I'm not about to stand. See, and that's another thing. I'm not about to sit around and wait for something to reveal something to me. That's another thing that I can't stand. That's when you start getting into, you know what I'm saying, the little spiritual and religious conversations. I'm not of that belief. I'm not about to sit around and wait for something to reveal some type of sign to me. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to create that for myself. I'm not sitting around waiting for something to show me a sign. I need the universe to show me signs. I don't need no universe to show me signs. Listen, I'm going to create them signs within myself. If I need something to happen, I'm just as powerful as that universe because, again, microcosm, macrocosm. So if I need to manifest something, I don't need to wait for the universe to send me signs. I'm going to tell the universe what's happening. And everything is going to unfold according to what I just spoken to the universe. So, again, I don't sit around and wait. I need something to happen. I utilize my power. I utilize the power of the spoken word. So we need to stop sitting around and waiting for symbols and signs for something to tell you what you need to do. Nah, you got the power. If you need to know if you need to figure out what it is you need to do, start planting those seeds, start speaking that stuff, man. Start telling the universe. Like, you in control, man. You ain't got to sit around waiting for signs and symbols and all of that. That sounds good, but you don't need to do that. When you get the symbols, like, listen, really, I'm going to be real with you. The only times that you really get the only reason you really get most of those symbols is because you're not acting on your original thought. So your mind is letting you know, hey, man, you need to do this. So it's a reminder. That's a reminder. That's a subconscious reminder. That's all those symbols really are. It's a subconscious reminder. Your mind is letting you know, like, hey, man, why you not, like, I got to remind you of what to do. You already know what to do, man. Those symbols is nothing new under the sun. So when you get a symbol that you think came from the universe, that's not new. You already knew that. Your mind, like, it's a reminder. It's a reminder. That's it. So if you start acting on your original thought, man, like, your mind, it ain't gonna have to send you all those reminders. Literally, man. So we got to start exercising our power, our mental power, a lot more. A lot more. Mr. West, man, adults murder dreams. They tear those dreams up. They tear those dreams up, man. Brandon, man, that has happened to me a lot of times. A lot of times. Lorenzo for sure. You know what I'm saying? And that's the, you know what I'm saying? Hold on. Because I gotta go on the screen. But that's 100% right and exact. And when a child fails at doing what adults suggest versus following their intuition, the adults hold the child accountable versus themselves for the suggestion. Every time. Every time. Every time. Boy, Lorenzo, that's so right and exact. That is crazy. Because that's how it happens. They never hold themselves accountable for the suggestion. They were like, well, I gave you the choice. I ain't make you do anything. Man, I'm your son, I'm your nephew. I mean, whatever it is, whatever the relation is. Like, I'm 15, 16. What do you mean you didn't make me do anything? Like, I'm listening to y'all because y'all my role models. I'm supposed to be looking up to y'all for guidance. But they do not hold themselves accountable when they suggest something and the child acts on the suggestion and then it fails. They do not hold themselves accountable. Not at all. They gonna blame the child. Oh, you weren't trying hard enough, this, that, and the third. Maybe this is not what they were supposed to be doing in the first place. You think of that? You try to make your child go to school and then that don't pan out for them. Well, you gonna blame the child. Well, they weren't trying. Maybe the school just wasn't for them. Maybe you shouldn't have suggested that, man. Maybe that was a bad recommendation for your child. Brandon, for sure. I'm definitely not going out as a worker. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Most definitely. Like, that's definitely not happening for sure. I ain't about to keep making these white folks more wealthy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been done with that. Montel for sure. And then when you get some of those, gotta embrace those individuals as well. But it's the system as a whole kills the creativity, kills it, kills it. Brandon, 100%. Everybody wanted to. Hold on, wait a minute. I was about to quote something. Yeah, everybody want to tell and suggest, but never help. 100% right and exact. Mr. West, you say it's a mentality that has paralyzed our people. Big time paralyzed. It's killing a lot of them too. Oh, but man, for sure, man. I know what, man. Listen, that's always funny. You know what I'm saying? When the family member that becomes successful, you know what I'm saying, and all the other family members start hating on their success on the low, but then be asking for handouts, then get mad when they don't get the handout. It's like, no, like I said, listen, if you wasn't supportive of the vision when I initially introduced it to you, you're not about to reap, you're not about to reap any benefits from this, man. You're not about to reap any benefits from this work that I put in by staying committed to this vision. You didn't believe in it originally. I'm gonna need for you to keep the same energy when I manifest it. Keep the same energy, because I'm definitely gonna keep the same energy. Oh, you weren't fooling with me back when I initially introduced it to you. So we're gonna keep that same energy. Don't be asking for handouts now. Don't be like, oh, I always believed it. No, you didn't. I'm the type of person that don't forget that. You know what I'm saying? If you wasn't rocking with something I introduced to you in the beginning, I take that type of stuff to heart. I remember that. I'm not gonna forget that, because now I don't trust you. Because if you shot something down, and matter of fact, if I trusted you enough to bring something to your attention, and you shot it down with no hesitation, and then when I succeed, and then all of a sudden you want to act like you were supportive from the beginning, like, first of all, you're lying, because no, you were not. So I don't trust you. So I always remember stuff like that. I always remember stuff like that. Tumbo Peace, what's happening? Like, I always remember things like that. Never forget that. I never forget that energy, that initial energy when I introduce something to somebody. Never forget it. Never forget it. That's something that's gonna stick with me. Oh, okay, yeah. I remember when I told you my plan. I remember when I told you my vision. I remember when I told you, and you was like, "Oh, that's a bad idea. Like, I don't think that's smart. I don't think that's wise." I remember that. I don't think that's. I wouldn't do that. And that's another thing too. When people bring their vision to somebody, I think it's one of the dumbest things. Like, I'm not asking you what you would do. Like, I'm not asking you what you would do. Like, to me, that's like, oh, I wouldn't do that. Of course you wouldn't, because it's not your vision. It's not your vision at all. You know what I'm saying? So I don't expect for you to do this. Like, that's not why I'm bringing this vision to you. I'm not bringing the vision to you to say, oh man, what would you do? Nah, like, this is my vision. So I don't care what you would do. I don't care what you wouldn't do. The wife is in the building. Y'all say peace to the wife. But yeah, I don't care what you would do. That's something that has always irritated me when I would bring a vision to somebody. Oh, I wouldn't do this. Like for instance, opening my gym. If I'm just bringing it up, like, all right, man, I'm thinking about opening the gym in a year or so, and a person that ain't even listen, a person that ain't into fitness or health at all, telling me what they wouldn't do. Oh, I wouldn't do that. I know you wouldn't. You one of the most unhealthiest people on the planet. Yeah, I know you wouldn't open the gym a year from now. I'm not asking you that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't stand when people do that. Like, it's my vision, it's not yours. So I expect for you not to do that. I expect for this to be something that you wouldn't do, because it's my vision. Like, it's my vision 100%. So it's like it's ridiculous, man. So I'm in one of those spaces in my life where I got to be real mindful of the people that I entertain. Real mindful of the people that I entertain, man, because hey, your mental health, man, can be sensitive at times, man. So a lot of times when you didn't been used to certain negative traits like just popping up on you, when you done been consumed by some negative traits for a very long time, like, it's sensitive. So you gotta remove yourself from all triggers. Anything that can cause you to relapse, man, and go back into that state, you gotta try to remove those triggers. Or you gotta do your best to like neutralize it or neutralize them. Because it's real sensitive, man, especially when it's something that has been consuming you for a long time. If you done been battling something like depression for a very long time, like if you've been battling it for 15, 20 years, however long, like it's not just gonna leave overnight. No matter how hard you try to ignore it, like it's a process. Part of that process involves you removing yourself from people that will trigger it, environments that will trigger it. That's part of the process. It's a big part of the process, man. So again, you mean no harm, man, but when you disconnect from certain people, man, you got to do your best to explain it in that light. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to protect this energy. I'm trying to protect my peace. Part of the process in regards to protecting that peace involves me having to disconnect from certain environments and certain people. Anything that triggers my frustration, anything that triggers my depression, my anger, whatever it is, anything that triggers it, anybody, anything that triggers it, I cannot be around it. And if a person doesn't understand that, then that just gave you confirmation that you need not deal with. That's all it is. Job, peace, what's happening for sure. Brandon, what you say? You very paranoid and stressed based on what I've seen and heard over all these years. I need to remove myself from my environment for sure, 100%. And that's kind of similar to what I did, man. You got to change your environment. Because I also would deal with the, you know what I'm saying, the paranoia. You know what I'm saying? Just especially being black man, like the paranoia is real. It's real. Paranoia is real just for me being a black man. It's like, man, I'm always keeping my head on the swivel. Always keep my head on a swivel. Like, it's to the point now where people just notice it. Like, they notice how I'm always moving, I'm always looking, checking my surroundings. Like, that's just something that is ingrained in me, and it's been ingrained in me for a minute because, again, you never know where danger is going to come. You never know. We, as black men in America, like, we really not safe no matter where we go. Even if we go to a neighborhood that's deemed as safe, it's probably not safe for us because of police presence and all this type of nonsense. So even when we go to safer neighborhoods, we really not safe there. So it's like no matter where we go, we always got to keep our head on a swivel. So it's like part of me ending that paranoia is like I just limit where I go. Like I just work, crib. That's it. I don't try to do too much out here. I don't try to do too much. Brandon, for sure. You know, we not too far, St. Louis, so it's the same thing goes for St. Louis, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my Chicago people. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of places that fit this bill. It's like head on a swivel. You trying to catch the danger before it catches you. That's one thing I never want to get caught is slipping. And sadly enough, when you start to do things that when you start to succeed in life, then that's when you really can't afford to really like let your guards down because people hate that success. So when you're black and you successful, when you go to certain parts of the town, man, hey, you got to be on your P's and Q's. Got to be on your P's and Q's. Mr. West, for sure. Self-defense, definitely a must. But yeah, man, when you start succeeding in your life, when you start doing great things in life, unfortunately, now a target is really on your back and it's on your chest. So you really got to be mindful. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? That's how it is. That's a sad reality. So it's already the target on your back just by being black. But then when you start to succeed, the target becomes much larger. You got to start watching everybody. Man, CeeLo says something. CeeLo Green says something on the Goody Mob album. He said, I kind of like being Poe because at least I know what my friends here for. Man, that line went over people's head. I kind of like being Poe because at least I know what my friends here for. See, when you start succeeding, the people around you, you got to question why they even here. But when you're broken, you ain't got nothing, man, and people still rocking with you. Hey, some of those are some genuine people. But when you start succeeding in life, man, and then everybody want to become your friend and family, at that point, it's like, man, you don't know who's sincere or not. You don't know who's sincere. Man, when it was the people that was rocking with you when you had nothing, when you didn't have no name, when nobody knew who you were, like those are the people that you got to remember. Those are the people that you got to remember. But yeah, man, when CeeLo spit that line, man, I was like, you know what I'm saying? That's right and exact. Because when you start succeeding, man, it's like everybody wants to start affiliating with you. Everybody want to say they know you. You got to question. You got to start questioning that, man. Where was you at before I had this gym? You know what I'm saying? Where was you at then? Where was you at then? Like now you want to claim me because I, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to watch that type of stuff, man. You got to watch that type of stuff. E Reacts Peace, what's happening? Mike, you say, would you move to the woods? A very interesting question. I mean, a lot of my people know I'm from Mississippi, man. So I didn't dabble with living in the country. It's not when I was young, it was kind of trash, man. But now you appreciate it. It's peaceful. It's peaceful. It's peaceful. Yeah, living in the country or the woods, like it can get peaceful. Or it can be peaceful, I should say. Rude boy, peace, what's happening? Hey, hold on. Just quoting it. There you go. Hey, not too many people be knowing the Goody Mob, man. Now, hold on. Y'all about to get me MCing in a minute, man. Y'all know Goody Mob is my joint. I see y'all quoting Goody Mob out here. Y'all better quit playing. But yeah, as far as the woods question, yeah, like my folks, Mississippi and just having to stay there for some summers, man. I didn't experience that. I didn't experience being deep off in the trenches too. Like as far as the country, deep off in the woods, like it can get eerie and stuff. I'm talking about eerie at night. I'm talking about your neighbor, and you don't even know where the next house is at. Like I didn't been in situations like that. I didn't stay in places like that. Like things can get strange, but it be peaceful during the day. At nighttime, you don't really know what's happening. But yeah, man, that as far as the woods go, man, the only thing you gotta watch out for them animals. That's it. Other than that, man, you ain't bothered by neighbors, man. Like you chilling for the most part. I actually know some people that live like that, and they love it. My boy Antonio Peace, what's happening? Okay, man, I see y'all hip to Goody Mob, man. It's always a pleasure, man, to see people hip to the real music, man. Goody Mob, that's it's peaceful, man. This is peaceful. That's peace. See y'all hip to the Goody Mob, man. Goody Mob, listening to them, man, and help me out in life, man. And help me out in life, big time. Yeah, I can quote CeeLo, I can quote Goody Mob all day, man. That's how much of a fan of Goody Mob I am, but for sure. What you say, Brandon, growing up around criminals will mentally train you to digest negativity and the harsh realities of your environment. That's how I am. Death and drugs is normal to me. Nothing amazes me here. For sure, Brandon, like, and that's the sad reality of it. Like back in the day where when you would hear things like gunshots, and it's just like you just keep on walking. You be outside, you hear shots ring out, you're like, dang, man, they shooting, and you get right back to playing. You know what I'm saying? Like you numb to it. Like it just don't even bother you. Like we didn't been in that position growing up, man. Oh man, you heard about 7 shots. Sound like it was close. But I'm gonna continue to play outside though. I ain't really worried about it. Like it don't shock you, don't spook you, it don't rattle you, nothing. Like that's a sad reality for a lot of black people. Like that type of stuff really doesn't rattle us, man. When we hear the gunshots, we like, oh well, somebody got shot. Like somebody even got shot. Like that's a sad reality for a lot of us, honestly. Been there, done that, man. You'll be walking, you'll be getting out the car, you will hear the shots. I'm talking about it can sound like it's right across the street, and you still going about your day. Like you didn't just hear some gunshots. King, for sure, man. It's definitely a gift and a curse, man, in regards to success. Definitely. And it also definitely depends on how you achieve the success. But for the most part, man, it's definitely a blessing and a curse, man. It's a sad reality. Like I said, we deal in the world, we deal in a society, we would like to call them the 85%, you know what I'm saying? People deaf, dumb, and blind. So those are the people that's gonna hate on your success. That's a large percentage of people. So when you start succeeding out here, you become the minority. And you going against the majority that's gonna either A, hate on you, or they trying to scam you. You know what I'm saying? They trying to take advantage of you. They trying to manipulate you. What we would call the bloodsuckers of the poor. So you gotta fight all these people. Got to go against all these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just trying to succeed, you just trying to live your life, do what it is you're passionate about, and you got to receive all this hate from people that lack vision, lack drive, lack ambition, lack discipline. They lack all these things, and they trying to take that out on you. And it's like I said, that's the majority. The majority of people are out here either deaf, dumb, and blind, or they know the truth and they try to manipulate the folks by bending and twisting the truth, fabricating the truth. So you are in the minority when you successful, when you standing on your square and you remaining true to yourself. Sadly enough, you the minority. That's why when you start to make those transitions and you join the minority, it's like everything, it's like all the momentum is going against you when you make that change. Everybody who has literally tried to make healthier transitions in life has told me the same thing. Every time they try to do right, it's just like, man, they got all the people around them encouraging them to do wrong. These people done always been around you. You just didn't notice it because you was a part of them. The moment you said, all right, I'm about to transcend above and beyond them, that's when you started to notice how negative and toxic people are. But when you are a part of them, when you are negative and toxic, you ain't able to determine that. You ain't able to witness that. You ain't able to bear witness to that reality because you're a part of it. It's only when you say, all right, I'm going to disconnect, that you start to notice it. And that's what happens. Like, those people always existed. That momentum was always there. You just didn't notice it because you was a part of it. So the moment you say, all right, I'm no longer a part of this reality, that's when you really start to notice, like, dang, man, there's a lot of toxic people out here. I mean, it's a lot of negative people out here. It's just a lot of destruction out here. But when you are part of the destruction and toxicity, you ain't thinking nothing of it. You thinking it's normal and natural. But when you say, all right, man, I'm gonna try to be healthier, you be like, dang, it's a lot of sick people out here. Them sick people been out here. E reacts for sure, man. Hey, I will be one of them. Stay in the crib. Stay in the crib. And then you got some of these successful people that let the success get to their head, and then boom, they end up in a bad situation. People got to understand that too. Man, this stuff can be taken away from you at any given second. At any given second. So I don't be letting anything get to my head. I tell people all the time, I tell people I don't know nothing, man. I like, listen, tell people that all the time, man. Because this stuff can be taken away from you at any minute, any given second. So again, you get successful people that, hey, we trying to stay low key with it. We ain't trying to be seen and heard out here. And then you got people that the success and got to their head. And that's just as bad, man. That's just as bad as lacking the success out here. That's just as bad as being deaf, dumb, and blind when you allow the success to get to your head. And that can corrupt your mind. That's not a way to live, man. At the end of the day, like, you're gonna have to deal with the consequences behind possessing that type of mentality when you start getting big-headed and forgot where you came from. You know what I'm saying? Never forget where you came from, man. Never forget that. Never forget the people that was rocking with you, that put you on, that gave you or was responsible for your success. Because again, we didn't do it on our own now. We didn't do it on our own, man. It's the people, man. The people support you, man. No matter what it is you striving to do, man, I guarantee you got to have some support from somebody. So never forget that, man. Never forget that. Hey, Just, you clowning on the quotes here. A minute, we're gonna turn this into a goody mob cipher here. Larry, peace. What's happening? Oh, Brandon, for sure. Hey, matter of fact, hey, now if we see it, Then we know who took it. Well, we didn't know who we know it was somebody on the screen, somebody watching that took it. But nah, yeah, that sounds dope though. Go ahead and get that joint started though. Dean, what you say, I'm sure you experience this. People think they can talk to about you any kind of way because they see your success as cushion to be their punching bag for sure. Yeah, for sure. Like, and another thing, people think they can talk to you any type of way and lay a bunch of things on you because they just assume you can handle it. That's what happens too when you start to be successful. Like, everybody feel like they can bring their problems to you because they feel like, man, you can handle it. You didn't reach this point in your life, so like you should be good. You should be able to help me get there. Like, nah, man. Like, I don't want to entertain problem after problem after problem. Like, man, as the song says, their prayers, my way may not be your way. Like, listen, I reached this level by taking this formula for myself. This might not help you. You know what I'm saying? I could just give you the jewels, but I don't want to keep getting hit with problem after problem after problem simply because y'all think I can handle it. People act like when people reach a certain level of success, they not still dealing with things mentally. They think they got it all figured out. They think life is great for them. Nah, that's far from the truth. If anything, your life might get more stressful when you start to succeed because you're going to be, what they say, more money, more problems. Sheep stay sleep. Peace. What's happening? Justin, that's what I'm saying, man. Hey, that's essentially what I'm talking about. Man. People thinking they have all the answers. Like I said, that's why I'm quick to bring the books out. I'm gonna let you know, hey, this is where I got this from. And if you know what I'm saying, if it's like something that I came up with, I'm gonna probably let you know that too. But for the most part, like I always try to tell y'all what book inspired the thought. Like I'm always letting people know what inspired the thought. Because everything you get inspired. You get inspired, man. Like if I come up with a thought, like something inspired, I got inspired, and a thought, man, something inspired it. Like this stream, it got inspired by me reading DMX's autobiography. Just finished it, and I'm like, man, this is what I took away from it. Him just staying committed to his grind. He was getting rejected. He was getting rejection after rejection after rejection. And DMX is one of the best to ever do it. And it took him 10 plus years to actually get on, for people to actually respect his ability. And I mean, it ain't like he was whack in the beginning. DMX was hard in the beginning when he was getting rejected. They were all, you not marketable. But DMX didn't let. And then another thing that I rocked with in the autobiography from DMX, which is why I be like, man, if it's one artist I can relate to, DMX is definitely one of them. DMX talked about the time, again, if you know the history, you know that, you know what I'm saying, the Locks, Jadakiss, Styles, and Sheik, they had signed with Bad Boy Puffy. DMX was like, you know what I'm saying, Puffy had made the shiny suits and the dancing popular, but DMX was like, that just wasn't me. Like, I wasn't going to take that route. I don't care how much money was involved. So DMX, one of the reasons why it took DMX so long to get on, because he never compromised. He never compromised. DMX was like, dog, I'm not, like, that's not me. Like, if you don't let me be grimy, if you don't let me be street, if you don't let me be rough, I'm not, like, I don't want no parts of it. I don't want any parts of it. So, man, when I read that, I'm like, man, because if I would have put myself in a position back then, y'all already know I don't really too much care for Diddy. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, man, that's exactly how I would have been. Like, man, I ain't like, listen, all that shiny suit stuff, that's cool for that lane, but that's not me. That's not me. And that's one of the reasons why it took DMX a minute to get on, because he wasn't compromising. DMX was like, man, this is who I am. This is how I'm gonna rap. This is my image. Y'all can't accept that? Then all right, we're gonna keep it pushing, we're gonna stay committed. I respect that, man. That's why I respect DMX like no other. That's why I respect DMX like no other, man. That's my man's, man. DMX wasn't compromising. He was like, nah, man, I ain't with all the shiny suits. I'm not about to change up my image. I'm not doing it. Chief stay sleep. Appreciate that donation, my brother. Nero, peace. What's happening? UFO, peace. What's the word? Yeah, just for sure. That's why I was glad I had the book before, you know what I'm saying, he passed. I just hadn't got, I got so many books, I hadn't got around to reading it. Because for one, I'm already familiar with a lot of his story, but it's still some jewels in that joint. But man, yeah, him just not compromising, I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's peace. DMX was like, man, y'all gonna have to allow me to be DMX. Y'all gonna have to allow me to be this guy, or else I'm not doing it. So when you, again, it shows and proves that when you stand on your square, when you stay true to who you are, it might take a minute, because a lot of people, they're not gonna understand that. A lot of people didn't understand DMX. Like, they didn't understand, like, they couldn't see a place for DMX in rap at that time. But DMX was like, man, I like listen, everything gonna unfold when it's time for it to unfold. And I respected that, man. I respected that 100%. Because DMX could have easily quit after all them rejections. Like, all right, man, whatever. DMX kept it going though. And eventually, my man's dude ain't like the first 3 albums DMX, like, ain't nobody ever did nothing like that, man. Nobody ever did anything like that. First 3 albums going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no artist that came out with, man, listen, we ain't even about to get into the accolades of DMX, man. Because that's just one of that, like, he's been one of my favorite artists from the time he came out until still currently, you know. But that, you know what I'm saying, just speaking on inspiration, his story inspired this, man. So we always grabbing inspiration from somewhere. So I ain't gonna be one of these individuals saying, man, I know everything. Man, I got it from somewhere. I got it from somewhere, man. It's all we inspired, man. A lot of times we afraid to give credit where credit is due, man. If you got something from somebody, man, you know what I'm saying, give them a little credit. If you got something from a book, shout out the book, shout out the author. Don't make it seem like you just came up with something overnight and you didn't. Mr. Way, he blissed it, but it was like he blissed it, but he was doing it for so long, like it was just only a matter of time. Yeah, Justin, that's the real. And a lot of, like, I look at him as being like misunderstood, having that misunderstood energy. That's how I've always viewed myself. You know what I'm saying? Just being misunderstood. Of course, DMX had his flaws just like everybody else. He had his addictions, he had his struggles. But it's like you said, man, like, man, just the energy, man. The energy, like no other. Like no other. Mr. West, for sure. For sure. Nero, definitely the king, man. Definitely, for sure. E reacts, you say money makes life easier but bring more problems. 100%. 100%. Yeah, Rashid, man, I'm telling you, listen, it don't take much these days, man. It don't take much these days for people to sell themselves out. Doesn't take much. Doesn't take much, man. The price used to be a little bit higher, but now it's nothing. People will sell themselves out. You ain't even really got to pay them. You could tell them they're gonna get more subscribers or more followers on Instagram, and they'll sell their moms out. Like, that's how cheap the game is now, man. You can promise them, man, I promise you 10,000 followers on Instagram, and they'll sell their whole family out. That's the world we live in today. Man, you can get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and they'll sell their children out. You know what I'm saying? That's the world we live in today. That's the world we live in today. Like, it does not take much to convince these people to sell themselves out, man. Like, the originality is not here. Copycat society at its finest. Like, originality is dead. Originality is dead. And again, that's when social media becomes a blessing and a curse, because all people are doing, they seeing what is succeeding on social media and they trying to emulate it. That's literally all people are doing. Okay, such and such talking about this, well, I'm gonna do it. Such and such talking about that, they making this, I'm finna do it. Like, that's all we doing. Even when you get on Facebook, man, I can't tell you the amount of times I see people just copy statuses. They don't share the status, they copy it. Copy the stat word from word, like, and the dumb thing about it, they will copy a status that was trending. How you gonna copy and paste something that was trending like ain't nobody see it? They ain't copying and pasting things that ain't nobody see. They copy and pasting trending statuses, like things that people have seen. Like, that's the world we live in, man. We trying to trend, man. We trying to go viral. Like, that's the world we live in. So it's leading to a lot of people, a lot of copycats, man. The originality is definitely dead. Jason, peace, what's happening? So it's like that's sad, man. Like, stay original. Contrary to popular belief, a lot of people like originality, man. A lot of people like when you are authentic. Like when they say timeless music, like I would rather be that person that makes the timeless music opposed to the one-hit wonder. No, timeless music. I want to be like Tupac. You can play my music 20, 30 years later, 40 years later, 50 years later, and it's relevant. Opposed to, man, I made a hit 10 years ago and you play it now, it's just childish. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all for the timeless music. Like that's how I view it. That's how I view it. I'm striving to be timeless. Like I'm not trying to follow a trend. I'm doing something because somebody else do it, man. My heart not in it. Eventually, I'm gonna phase out. Eventually, I'm a phase out, man. But if you stay true to your roots, if you stay true to yourself, man, you're gonna succeed, man. It's not gonna be as fast. It may not be as quick as some other people, but stay committed. Stay committed and stay consistent. So people gotta, man, a lot of people gotta figure out the purpose, create the purpose, whatever it is, man, and just stay committed. I don't care how boring the purpose may sound to you. Listen, it's a lane for everything. It's a lane for everything. It's literally a lane for everything, man. So quit trying to jump on bandwagons, man. Your lane may be different, but it's a lane nonetheless. And you can dominate that lane. You can dominate that lane. That's how you get oversaturation. Everybody trying to jump in something that's trending. Oversaturated. Oversaturated. Montel, hey, that's crazy. Right on. You know what I'm saying? Saying I got timeless music. And man, I don't even be dropping music no more. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we strive to do. I strive to put out timeless music, timeless content. I want you to be able to tap into this content 100 years from now and be like, dang, man, I can still apply this. And you just feel you feel the passion, you feel the energy behind it. Like that's the type of person that I am, which is why musically I like some of the people that I like. That's why DMX, Tupac, some of my favorite artists, because I feel what they saying. Like I live by that. I need you to feel what I'm saying. Like sometimes what I'm saying may come off rough, you know what I'm saying? But like you gonna feel it though. You gonna feel the passion behind it. And I've always been that type of person. I ain't never been one to follow a script because I always felt like, man, that's fake, man. Like you can't feel it when I'm following this script. I need to be able to go in there without a script so you can feel what I'm saying. I need you to feel what I'm saying. I'm not going in there prepared, man. I have given many speeches. Like I done been in school. I've given many speeches. I have talked to, like I've done this before. And I don't never go in there prepared. I don't have no note cards. Like I've never done well with that. Man, let me forget these note cards, man. I'm going to speak from that heart. I need for you to feel what I'm saying, man. That's when it resonates. When it feels like I'm just reading off note cards, like you can't feel that, it's not going to resonate with you. You're like, man, this dude he's going through the motions. They not listening, man. But when you go out there and you speak from the heart, you fumble some words every now and then, like, man, it's telling you it's going to resonate. So I speak from the heart, man. Like I'm speaking from the heart. Like that's timeless content when you speaking from the heart, when you passionate about something and you giving that energy to the people. Like I'm doing this because I feel like I need to. I'm doing this because I feel like I need to get these messages off my chest. I'm not doing it because I want the money. Like I'm not doing it because I feel like I need to do this. I feel like I need to do it. Like I could have been doing it as I said, but it was just like I didn't want to. But now I feel like it's something that I need to. I need to do it. Like I feel like people need to hear it. People was hitting me up all those years. Hey, you need to do this. Hey, you need to do that. Hey, you need to do this. And I'm like, man, I'm cool on that. I'm cool on it. But now I realize it's like sometimes, as somebody brought to my attention, man, sometimes, man, your purpose is in conflict with your personality. So you got to get out the comfort zone. So a lot of what I'm doing right now is me stepping out of that comfort zone because the purpose is in conflict with the personality. And that's all good because that's when you grow as a person, getting out that comfort zone. You know, so a lot of the things that I'm doing in my life right now, currently, not necessarily things I'm comfortable doing, but these are things that I have to do in order to grow. Like I have to do them, man. I've got to grow. I got to get out that comfort zone. I got to get out of my comfortable box, man. I got to get outside of that. So I got to do these things that I'm not necessarily comfortable doing, and that's allowing me to grow. And that's for everybody. Eugene, peace, what's happening? Divinely planted. Peace. Peace. What's the word? Crown. What's happening? You say I need to hear this in regards to beats and music production. Hey, get on it. Stay on it. Stay on it. Clocks in. Peace. What's the word? Oh, Crown for sure. Man, I got an A+ in my speech class without writing things down. A+, what all I would do, whatever I was given a speech on, if I was able to choose it, that was already an A right there, because if I chose it, I'm already knowing about it, I'm passionate about it. And I would just go up there and speak from the heart. Man, the only reason I would create a PowerPoint is because it'd be a requirement. I would create a PowerPoint and I don't even know if what I would be saying would be behind me, because I'd be passionate about what it is I'm speaking about. Like, I would go up there and speak from the heart. If I had to give a speech about something that I ain't necessarily know about, I would read it, and whatever sticks out to me, I'm gonna focus on that, and that's what I'm gonna build on. Clocks in, man. I can relate to that 100% because that's literally my life right now. You know what I'm saying? My purpose in life, the things that I know I need to be doing, not necessarily things I want to be doing. Conflict. But again, getting out of my comfort zone. That's how I got to look at it. Out of my comfort zone, that leads to growth, that leads to elevation. UFO, 100%. Originality is ridiculed in this space until it gains a following. 100%. Then all the skeptics try to mimic it for relevance. Tragic. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. Like I said, man, stay true to myself. Stay true to myself. And like UFO say, me staying true to myself, if it happens to pop overnight or something, then you're gonna see everybody else trying to take the same approach. But in the beginning, like I said, they had everything to say. Chris, peace, what's happening? Akuma, you say I have so much personality, I have dormant parts I need to reactivate. Reactivate them joints. Dominique, peace, what's happening? But yeah, man, I'm big on originality, man. Y'all see the hoodie that we got on. This deals with being the original man, being the original woman. It don't say be grafted. It don't say be artificial. It don't say be genetically modified. Like, nah, it's the original man. It's the original woman. Like, I embrace that. Originality, authenticity, standing on your square, staying true to yourself. That's what I'm all about. That's what I represent. Y'all do not see me conforming to a lot of things, man. Y'all do not see that. Y'all will not see that. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons why it's with a lot of things, it takes me time. It takes me time to commit to it, because I already know what's going to happen sometime. I already know what's going to happen. I'm already ahead of the game. Like, being on YouTube, I was like, man, I get on YouTube, I already know how this is going to go. That's why I don't want to do it. But it's like, man, you got to just get out that comfort zone. Some things you just got to do. Like, some things you just got to do. Like, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Some things you just got to do. Crown for sure, man. We gonna always do that. We gonna always build. Like I said, the knowledge is infinite. So we always got things that we can discuss. We always got things that we can build on. Sadly enough, we got adults that act like that's not the case. But knowledge is definitely infinite, man. Knowledge is infinite. You can learn something new every day, meaning you got something to build on every day. You can learn something new every hour, meaning you got something to build on every hour. So, hey, we can always pull from this infinite knowledge, man. It's always something to talk about. It's always something to discuss, build on. Hey, it's always something to destroy, you know what I'm saying, within self or within society, to make more room for the building. And that's just, you know what I'm saying, that's just right and exact though. But clock saying I plan on being 10 times better than I was this year, next year for sure. Hey, be 10 times better than you were yesterday. You know, that's how you gotta take that approach. Hey, I'm 10 times better than I was yesterday. And we always elevating. We elevating on a daily basis, man. I'm 10 times better than I was an hour ago. You know what I'm saying? I'm 10 times better than I was 30 minutes ago. All right, that's how we operate. That's how we function. I'm 10 times better than I was 30 seconds ago. Like, that's how quick we move, man. Quantum leaps in this thing. Anais, the shell, peace, what's happening? My man's Chris, appreciate this donation. Appreciate donation. Say listen more than you talk so you can learn for sure. 100%. And that's what I'm up, man. I'm gonna say something that everybody has told me, whether it was like jobs or whether it was sports, all of this type of stuff, when I done had to be coached. One thing they all have told me, the consensus was that I'm coachable, meaning that I'm listening, willing to listen. Everybody has told me the same things, like, man, you very coachable. If I feel like you are an expert in something or you've been doing something longer than me, and this is your field, I'm going to listen to what it is that you have to say. Not necessarily saying I'm going to agree with it, not necessarily saying that I'm going to implement it, but I'm going to listen. If I'm working in the bank and you've been in banking 20 years, I'll be a fool not to listen to what you got to say. You got 20 years of experience and I ain't got any. So I'm about to listen to what it is you have to say. And I'm going to take the best parts from it. I'm not about to go in this thing thinking I know everything. No, I'm going to listen. Like, I'm going to be coachable. Like, if you've been doing this longer than I have, and this is something that I'm trying to master, let me go ahead and listen to you. Let me see what you got to offer here. Let me see what's the best part I can extract from this conversation. But a lot of people don't go into things with that type of mentality, man. They do not go into things like, I'm about to listen so I can learn. They be in their mug wishing a person to shut up. Like, nah, keep giving me the game. Let me know everything you know. Let me know everything you done learned in this joint. Like, and that's why, even just outside of people, that's why I'm soaking up. That's why I soak up a lot of books. I mean, books are the same thing for me. Books can be an expert talking to me. Like, that's how I look at it. Like, this is an expert talking to me. This is a person that, like, even in regards to the autobiography of DMX, this is a person that got some years in the game in regards to life on me. So I'm listening to what he got to say. He done went through some things. He's taking some L's. Let me listen. Let me read. Like, I feel like that's DMX talking to me through this book. So that's how I be viewing books. It's a conversation I'm having with the person, with the author. Like, they telling me some things, man. They giving me their advice, man, through this book. So we having a dialogue, we having a conversation, and that helps you retain the information when you view it that way. You know what I'm saying? So outside of just having physical conversations with people, man, I would get lost in the book the same way, because I'm looking at, like, whoever the author is, like, that's a conversation. Brandon, there you go. You know what I'm saying? There you go. We always striving to be better, man. And that's why I'm always trying to push that type of narrative. Always trying to push that narrative on the people. You know what I'm saying? You got to do it, especially Black folk, man. Like I said, we don't have enough positive platforms. I'm talking about platforms committed to, like, Black positivity. We don't have enough of that. We may have platforms that start off that way, but then they start to see what's trending, and then they go right back to tearing Black people down because they done made that popular. You got to tear us, like, in some way, shape, or form. You got to tear an aspect of the Black community down in order for you really to thrive out here sometimes. Key word, sometimes. People hear what I say, oh, that ain't, I said sometimes. You know, so we don't have enough platforms committed to the Black positivity. And I'm saying, I'm standing on that square, like, stand on that square, like, motivating, uplifting the people, and they don't care. Like, that's what they doing. That's what they committed to. Like, we don't have enough platforms that fit that description. Oh, nice, for sure. Yeah, them books definitely talk to you. Definitely. Like I said, it's conversation. You know what I'm saying? Conversation you having with the author or authors. Oh yeah, Clarkson, you say you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, for sure. But you know what I'm saying? We live in a day and age where we like to hear ourselves talk for the most part. You know, hard to have dialogues with a lot of people, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh, Brandon, for sure. For sure, man. Hey, I take a Jew anywhere I can get it. Hey, homeless person. Hey, you could get a lot of great financial advice from a homeless person. And that fits the description in regards to what Brandon's talking about. That homeless person can tell you exactly what not to do to end up in that position. Like if a homeless person saying, man, listen, I'm homeless because of X, Y, and Z, you might want to listen. Like you just increase your financial literacy by listening to a homeless person. But if you just initially judging that person like, oh, well, they homeless, I ain't listening to what they got to say, you're going to miss out on the jewel. Like you gonna miss out on the jewel big time. Like, nah, man, I'm paying attention to everybody. Everybody got something to offer. Everybody. Eugene, what you say? You say this question may be off topic. I was listening to another content creator advising against falling in love with a woman. What is your take on that? Did you fall in love in one point in your relationship? All right, so you said they against falling in love with a woman. Like, first of all, I'm gonna have to get they breakdown on what they consider falling in love. Like, what do they mean by falling in love? You know what I'm saying? Because they saying that they are against falling in love. Like, I'm gonna have to get their definition of like love. You know what I'm saying? Because the culture I come from, love is the highest form of understanding. So nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with understanding the person that you with. That's what love is, the highest form of understanding. So where I come from, nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that. Obviously, it starts from gaining that level of understanding within yourself. But then when you with somebody and now y'all start to understand each other, when y'all start to understand each other, like that's love. Once y'all reach that highest form of understanding collectively, that's love. And I ain't got no problem with that. I have no problem with that at all. So when you get two people and they start to know themselves and love themselves, and then they come together collectively, and then they reach that love, that level of love collectively, or that level of understanding collectively, then we in there. That's a powerful force to be reckoned with. So no, I wouldn't be against that. And again, like a statement like that, for one, that's like a weird statement to be against. That's weird, but it's just weird because I don't need to know how they view in love. It's just weird for somebody to say, you shouldn't fall in love with a woman. Like that might be a situation where somebody trying to sound too deep for me, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Because that sounds like a person that's trying to be too deep and they don't even understand what they saying. Because to me, that sounds kind of like childish at this point. Like to be like, you shouldn't fall in love with a woman. Like, dude, break down what the word love means, man. Like, it's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, highest level of understanding or highest form of understanding. That's what love is. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with finding that in a partner? What's wrong with finding that in a spouse? What's wrong with that? Like, what? So I have to, you know what I'm saying? Like that person to have to do some explaining to me. Like they gonna have to do some explaining to me. Cause like I said, where I come from, highest form of understanding. The simple breakdown. And the people don't understand, keeping it simple. Another thing, man, everything ties back to what inspired me to do the stream, DMX. Like DMX lived by that. If you listen to DMX and even Tupac, when people criticize them and be like, they not lyricists and things like that. Problem is, people don't understand. Like DMX kept his rhymes, like the actual, like him rhyming the words. He kept that structure simple on purpose. He said because he likes to be more direct. But again, it gets to a point where the simplicity is too deep for people that they not even getting the message. Things are so like things can be so simple to where people don't get it. And that's what I walk into that a lot in life. Like people be expecting some long-winded response from me in regards to certain subjects, and I hit them with something like love is the highest form of understanding. And they be like, that's it? Like it's just that simple. Like I don't need to go in depth about what love is. I guarantee you that person that made that statement about not falling in love, I guarantee you they'll be talking for about 3 hours about that. Like, nah, man, if you can't break it down within a sentence or two, then you don't know what you're really talking about, man. You ask me what love is, I'm gonna tell you the highest form of understanding, and that's it. I'm gonna cut it off. I don't need to elaborate any further. That's what I said. Highest form of understanding, keeping it simple. But a lot of times, man, that simplicity is too complex for the folks. A lot of people struggle with keeping it simple. If you've ever written a paper, man, and they tell you to like eliminate parts of your paper, like that'd be the hardest part for people. Be the hardest part for people, man, making everything simple. So I keep it simple, man. That sounds like one of them situations where people try and get too deep, and it's just not that, man. Yeah, Eugene, man, if you could tap in, let me. I tap into the video because I get that don't even. That just stupid. Sound like saying something for shock value or something. Like what? Just you say they get mad when I say something like, "Why are men piling up together just imagining a world without women?" I don't want to be a part of any man circle where that's happening because I ain't imagining a world without women. That's trash. If that, you know what I'm saying, we get to that point, go ahead, off me. That'd be the time I had to off myself. I ain't trying to exist with just a bunch of dudes. Like, no. Hence why I value my life to where I don't want to go to prison. Like, I ain't trying to be locked up with a bunch of dudes, man. Like, I understood that early in life. Like, that's not where I want to be. Now, again, like, you know what I'm saying, prison is a lot different these days, man. You can, like, almost anything goes, but I'm just like, nah, that never was appealing to me. Like, nope. Oh, Brandon, man, Brandon, I've been seeing you give love Dolph this whole stream, and I keep forgetting to acknowledge that. But yeah, shout out to Dolph though, man. Shout out to Dolph, man. Dolph was an influential person, man. Dolph was very influential, man. I got put on, man. I was on Dolph for a minute, but I wasn't really listening to him like that. Like I started listening to him some years ago, like just listening to him, watching interviews and things like that, man. Dude was a decent dude, man. From what I could tell from the interviews and you know what I'm saying, some of the music and all of that, man. Shout out to Dolph though. RP to Dolph. Oh yeah, just they tripping because that's trash. I ain't trying to want no parts of that. Clarkson, you say any advice on adopting your paradigm when a woman enters your life because my entire schedule has changed and I'm still figuring out how to balance it. Okay, Clarkson. So you said adopting your paradigm when a woman enters your life. Now, with that, it's all about communication. You know what I'm saying? It's all about communication. Because at the end of the day, like, this is how I feel about the situation. Like at the end of the day, we all operate kind of like on a schedule, whether we do it consciously or unconsciously. You know what I'm saying? So we are all on scheduled time. Like we all operate, we pretty much all do like the same things on a day-to-day basis. So we pretty much all operate on this schedule. Communication is key in that end, Clock saying, man, you just gotta let her know. If it's things that you know you need to do to better yourself, communicate that. Like, man, I gotta do X, Y, and Z. And the reason why I gotta do X, Y, and Z is because it helps me with this, that, and the third. It's gonna help push me further to this goal. Like I gotta commit this. I gotta commit my time to it now, so that in the future we can have more time together. Communicate it. Communicate it. Communicate it. Like you gotta get her to kind of realize the vision. Like at that point, that's when you need a person to realize the vision and see the vision. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the person that you see yourself with. You got to kind of get her to see the vision. Like, oh man, he committing his time to this. It's gonna pay off. Then she gonna respect the grind. She gonna respect the vision, and she gonna give you the space naturally. But initially, you just got to communicate with her. Like, this is my plan. But in order for me to execute it, like I got to do X, Y, and Z on a day-to-day basis. Meaning I got to dedicate this time to it. Meaning we may not spend as much time as you would like right now together. But in the future, once all of this pays off, we gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta sacrifice some time now. She don't understand that, then that may be a discussion that you may need to have with her. But they tell you that in Business 101. I got this book about entrepreneurship. I forget the name off the top of my head, but that's what he talks about. If you thinking about entering a relationship, you have got to communicate, and it sounds harsh, but you got to communicate to the spouse that your bit, like if you're going in business for you got to communicate that your business comes first. That's a hard pill to swallow. It's hard to hear that. Oh, people, oh man, that's selfish. No, but you got to think about what's being said. If I don't put this business first, like if we don't see, if my business don't succeed, then it really don't matter. Like I'm not able to provide, I'm not able to protect, so I got to put this business first. So I got to make sure this business is right and exact. then with that, you're going to figure out the balance. You're going to figure out the balance. But that book, like that book about entrepreneurship, that's one of the, you know what I'm saying? That's one of the tips in that book. Got to put that business first. If that's like your line, like if that's what you're doing, if you're a small business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, like you gotta, like your business is gonna come first. That's how it's gonna be in the beginning. Your schedule gonna be all over the place because you're trying to free yourself from corporate America. Then later down the line, now you're able to free yourself from the business. Now you're able to have more time. So you got to get people to initially understand that. Right now, business is gonna have to come first because I'm in the beginning stages. But then once I implement a system, now it's like, okay, I can work on the business, not in the business. Now we will have more time. Like that's how you gotta communicate that, but people don't understand that. That's how that, you know what I'm saying? That's gotta come first. Because again, if I'm a man, if providing financially is part of the job, I gotta put that first. Like I gotta put that first. And if I don't, like it's liable to, you know what I'm saying? Things are liable to unfold. And not in a positive manner. Bobby Peace, what's happening? But yeah, man, I read that in the entrepreneurship book. Again, I can't think of the name. I don't know if I can't even see it. But when I read that initially, I was like, Dad, I'm like, that's kind of cold. But then once I read the explanation, I was like, okay, this makes sense. He's not saying totally neglect your family. He's just saying, man, you got to put what feeds the family first. I mean, it just makes sense. If this is what feeds my children, if this is what keeps a roof over our head, I have got to kind of keep that first. I've got to prioritize that. Don't mean that I'm going to neglect everything and everybody else. It just means that I got to make sure this business is afloat. I got to make sure this business is right and exact. So that was like a tip. That was like a controversial tip in that book. But when you read it, whenever I figure out the name of the freaking book, then you'll be like, okay, I get it. I get what he's talking about. But yeah, with that situation, you got to communicate it, man. You got to, as a man, man, you got to prioritize establishing your foundation. You can't let nobody come in the way of that. You can't let anybody come in the way of establishing your foundation and building. Like you got to do what you need to do as a man. Like you just got to do it. Like whatever it is you need to do, you got to do it. If they can't understand it, you might have to depart, man. You might have to like remove yourself from the situation. Trying to see some comments that I may have missed. Wayne, peace. What's happening? What's the word? I see people Hernandez say South Memphis for sure. Shout out to all my Memphis people. Shout out to all my Memphis people, man. Y'all about 4.5 hours from where I'm at. Tierra for sure. And unfortunately, I've actually had a few brothers personally come to me with that type of conversation. You know, saying that like they women want them to, you know, reach a certain type of status. And they'd be like, well, Dag, in order for me to reach this certain type of status, I got to work a little bit longer, a little bit harder. But then when I start doing it, then it's like they criticizing that. I was like, man, you might need to remove yourself from that situation. Because if you are an honest working black man out here in the wilderness of North America, in order for you to reach this financial status that some people are requiring, that requires a lot of time to be put in initially. So like that, I mean, it ain't no way we finna generate any type of wealth financially in working an hour a day. Like, nah, we gonna have to put in some hours of work. Meaning, like, that's gonna take away from the time being spent. Like, that's just inevitable. If you want you ought to be proud that your man is out here working, that you ain't got no lazy dude. You know what I'm saying? But I've heard this type of situation, like, it had been introduced to me several times. It had been brought to my attention several times by people I know personally. Like, Dag, man, she wanted us to start making more money. Then I started going out here working more, and now she criticizing that. It's like, well, yep, that's a problem. That's a problem. Because again, man, if they want you to improve your situation and your circumstance, and you take it upon yourself to do it, they gotta respect that. They got to understand that time will be a sacrifice. They can't understand that. Like I said, we got bigger fish to fry, but time will have to be a sacrifice. Hey, if she wants you to elevate financially, you have to put in more work, and that means putting in more time initially. So, like Tierra said, women can't understand that, then something is definitely wrong, and I definitely suggest you reevaluate and reassess that particular relationship in that situation, because that don't even make any sense. Like, she should be happy that you out here putting in this work now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, like that means it's gonna pay off 5, 10 years from now. Like, all right, cool. He be out here doing a bunch of other destructive things, but he out here putting in work to try to secure a better future. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, if anything, that should be praised and embraced. Like, that's what that should be. But hey, some people not wired like that. You know what I'm saying? Some people are not wired like that at all. Like, it's been presented to me in person a lot of times. I'm like, dang, man, that's really a situation out here. You know what I'm saying? Where you claim you want a man to have X, Y, and Z, but then he putting in the work, and now you mad that he gonna have to be big. He gonna be busy, man. Any dude that's out here trying to secure the future, man, and leave a legacy, he's a busy guy. He's a busy guy. Like, he's literally a busy guy. Like, he's just gonna be busy because he's trying to put in that work, and he not gonna have a lot of handouts. Now, you got some people, man, sell themselves out. They get these handouts, but for the most part, hey, for the most part, us honest, working, righteous brothers, like, we not getting handouts, so we gotta get it. We gotta get it. Hey, grassroots level. Grassroots level. Wayne X, you say you either got the money or the time. Sure. Then you get to a point where you have both. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're striving towards. You know what I'm saying? In the beginning, you either had the money or the time, but then in the future, you have both of them. You had the money and the time. That's that liberation. Oh, Brandon, for sure. 100%. But yeah, man, Wayne, that's always the goal. You know what I'm saying? Get the money and the time. So I got the money and I have control of my time. I'm winning on both ends. That's what we aiming for. So right now you might have the money, but you lack the time. So now you're working towards getting that time under control. That's the goal. Dean, that's how you do it. Next one. You know what I'm saying? It's exactly how you do it. When you say, Sierra, I don't care who you are, do what you have to do. Whoever is meant to be in your life gonna be there. Exactly. Just with another quote, you know what I'm saying? Outcast, shout out to Outcast, man. Erica Badu with the Liberation joint. Don't worry what these folks think, man. You know what I'm saying? That's liberation. That's that song, man. But y'all, man, with that being said, man, I done went over my time with the bill, but it's all good, man. I had time, man. Of course, y'all see, I've been putting in the short work, the short video work as of late, so I haven't been streaming as much. We get back to the shorter video things, man, because hey, more effective for the kid, man. I'm able to really get my point across about 3 to 5 minutes. Keep it simple. But this was a nice stream, man. I appreciate all the comments, appreciate the donations, questions, all that good stuff, man. I don't know when I'm gonna tap back in with y'all for another stream. Maybe Thursday. Hey, maybe Saturday. I may mess up y'all Christmas time, man. I may mess up y'all Christmas and give y'all some facts about Christmas. You know what I'm saying? I may play the Grinch. Who knows, man? Who knows how I'm feeling? But I don't know when the next time I'm gonna tap into y'all. But I'm gonna definitely keep the short videos rolling, man. I got enough of those for days, man. So be on the lookout for the shorter videos. This stream was live. This stream was peace, man. This stream was positive, powerful, productive, efficient, all that good stuff, man. I'm gonna tap out. Y'all enjoy the rest of the Tuesday. Hey, if I don't see y'all tomorrow, y'all enjoy the Wednesday and possibly a Thursday. But I'm definitely see y'all one more time this week on this stream. Y'all be easy out here. I'm out. Peace.